Hello everyone, this is 05 and welcome to the Cobra Series tutorial review. And today's tutorial we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra action figure review. And today's action figure review we're looking at the Wave 3 of the Whirlwind Kick Storm Shadow, the Cobra Ninja. Now I got this straight from eBay for 65 ringgit by buying the whole Wave 3 figures, all 4 of them. Now I don't really wanted to get this figure, but I'm forced to get it because, well, it came from the whole set of Wave 3 figures, all 4 of them, so I'm forced to get this. Now, considering that 65 ringgit is actually pretty expensive, more pricier compared to the retail pricing of 39 ringgit and 90 cents, I'm forced to get this because Wave 3 figures never existed, never arrived in, well, in Malaysia at all, thanks to Hasbro Malaysia. I'm not too sure why. So yes, I have to resort on getting this straight from eBay. Now, another one point about this Storm Shadow figure is that I really don't like the action gimmick they placed for this figure, which includes the Whirlwind Kick. It actually bears the same resemblance to the Ninja Force that was released in mid-90s period, where all the Ninja Force figures, or at least majority of the Ninja Force figures, comes with the action gimmick of, well, karate chops or kicks and whatsoever. So basically Hasbro is actually, well, trying to bring back the, well, the old nostalgic gimmicks there. I'm not a big fan of those. Now let's take a look at the front part packaging itself. You got a nice little artwork of Storm Shadow. It looks more of a samurai rather than a ninja because due to the amount of armor he's wearing there. And speaking of equipment and armor, inside the packaging it comes a whole slew of weapons. Now you got 2 katanas, a backpack with 2 sheaths, a cat claw, 2 ice traction blades, a hook with a rope and a handle. He also has a rope bundle, well, wrapped around him, and he's also wearing his pieces of armor. And you have this, I would say, a Chinese halberd. I'm not too sure how you call it in a proper way because I actually can't remember what it's called. Ironic, I know, because I'm Chinese. But yes, this is a Chinese weapon. And behind the figure itself, you got the base stand. And underneath the base stand, I'm not too sure why they keep packing up with those catalogs. You can see the fold-up catalog inside there. And at the back portion of the packaging, you got a small little write-up on what's G.I. Joe really about, and a small little instruction, just like the old G.I. Joe packaging. How to activate the Whirlwind Kick. You got the instructions on how to wind up, push the button, and, well, let it spin, which of course sacrifices some of the articulation. Now here we have a profile card that got a nice little image of Storm Shadow. Here is stated, Storm Shadow is a ninja mercenary who works for Cobra. He undergoes a difficult test to strengthen his willpower and endurance. Battling extreme cold, he climbs a snow-covered mountain to reach an Arishikage temple. As his final test, he must defeat the temple guardians as he does so with a powerful whirlwind kick. So let's assume this is the Arctic threat version of Storm Shadow then, shall we? And at the bottom here, mission equipment, alpine commando climbing rope, and ice traction blades. Very nice. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after the figure and with the stuff out from packaging. Now inside the packaging, it comes with a folded up piece of catalog that showcase one side the Arctic Threat mission diorama, very nice. We got the Arctic Threat Destro and a whole bunch of ice cutters and snow job. On the other side, showcasing the figures from Wave 1 and 2 of the G.I. Joe and Cobra figures, very nice. Which is kind of weird that they didn't actually make a catalog for Wave 3 and 4, and they still give us Wave 1 and 2 catalog. Go figure. Now let's take a look at Storm Shadow's accessories. It comes with a whole slew of accessories, but first things first, we'll take a look at the base stand. We have the 25th anniversary style of a Cobra base stand. We got a nice little Cobra logo on the top with 2 pegs for the figure to stand on, and a nameplate there stated as Storm Shadow. On the other side here stated as 2007 Hasbro made in China. Next we have a pair of identical ice traction blades, which is not painted at all. This is a new accessory. This is all in grey plastic. Now you notice there's a bit of serrated edges on the top section here, very nicely done. At the end here you got hooks, and this section here is to clip onto the figure's wrist. Nothing that special. Let's move on to another new accessory. This is a cat claw. Now you must be wondering, well, for the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line, there's a whole bunch of cat claws there. What makes this different is because this is a new mold of a cat claw. If you don't believe me, you can always compare it with the 25th anniversary version. This is a new accessory, which the blades are all painted in silver. You got a nice clip on here to clip onto the figure's wrist. Very nice. Nothing that special. It's a typical cat claw here. And there's only one cat claw for some reason. Next we have the hook that's attached to a string and a handle. And the string is rather short if he wants to do some mountain climbing, which is kind of strange for Storm Shadow to equip such an item with such a short string. At the end there you got a small little clip on, you can see. This is an old accessory that's available in the 25th anniversary line. Next we have a Chinese halberd. Now I say Chinese because at the end tip of the blade itself, as you can see here, there's a small little sculpt of a Chinese lion. So that's on the other side, which is kind of makes you wonder why a Japanese, ninja assassin here is actually equipping a Chinese halberd. I'm not too sure how to actually call the actual name of the weapon. I'm just gonna call it as a Chinese halberd, okay? Don't quote me on that. Now this is a semi-new accessory. This actually appeared in the Resolute comic pack of Storm Shadow and Tunnel Rat, and Storm Shadow was equipped with a Chinese halberd, except it's two-headed blade. This version is a single blade, and the end tip here is a spear. It's a nice little paint job on the blade itself and the spear, painted in silver. Very nice. Again, it boggles my mind why he's equipped with a Chinese weapon. Then we have a wakizashi, which is all, as you can see, bent. A katana, and a backpack sheath. All three of these items are from the Rise of Cobra. Nothing new here. The blades are all painted in silver. The handle, however, is also painted in black. And it stalls at the sheath here. As you can see, the back portion of the sheath is hollowed out, so you can stuff it like so. Very nice. However, there's a problem with this sheath because the pegs is a bit too short, and when you try to place it onto the back of the figure itself, it just keeps on popping off quite easily. Not a really good accessory. Then we have a bundle of rope, climbing rope, which is available in the 25th anniversary line. Nothing special, it's all in black and it's not painted at all. Next we'll take a look at his new accessory, which is his skirt. Now the entire thing is made of a grey plastic material. As you can see here, there's a button that connects to this section here. Now there's not a lot of paint job involved for the skirt. The entire belt, pouches and the belt buckle are all painted in really dark red colors. In the distance it may look like really dark brown, but it's actually really dark red. And the paint job is not really that great because there's a bit of smudge at the spot here. There's a smudge of spot at this corner here. I really wish they put more details on the paint job onto the entire row of the pouches and belt, like having the belt painted in black and the buckle painted in silver, rather than this one singular color there. It seemed like Hasbro is being really cheap and lazy at the same time. Now there's not a whole lot of details for the skirt. As you can see, there's a bit of wrinkles and that's about it. The pouches are okay, but it's a bit thin. Now you can see that there's a small black Cobra logo now. Now when Storm Shadow wears this skirt, it hinders a little bit of his articulation for the hips. Then we have another new accessory, which is the body armor. Now the body armor is also made of the same material. It's a grey plastic material. Now the paint job is much more better on this. you can see the nice little Articulation logo on the front there, and a bit of shading going on, a grey paint job shading on the edges here, on the straps, and even on the back. Now there's a nice little details at the back portion here, nice little sculpted details there. There's nothing to clip onto the bottom section of the body armor, so basically all you have to do is just slip into this body armor onto Storm Shadow, and there you have it. And then you use the sheaves, especially on the back portion of the peg itself, to plug in the back portion of the body armor. There's a hole here, and also at the back of portion of the figure, to hold the body armor in one place. Without that, it will just go all over the place. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now the figure's paint job is nothing really exciting. It's pretty bland looking if you look at it. The entire head is not painted, it's pure light grey in colors. As you can see, that's the plastic color itself. The flesh tone skin is painted, of course, so does the eyes. But the eyes there look very weird. It looks pretty crazy looking for Storm Shadow. Top section of the forehead here is painted in dull gold. You can see that. Now the collar and the neck there and the shoulders are all painted in flat black, as you can see. However, the torso is just pure plastic colors. The short sleeves here is painted in light grey, and the bottom section of the sleeve is painted in really dark red. That is the similar colors of the belt and the pouches. Now the paint job is not really great as well, because there are a little bit of bleeding on this section here, and also at the back portion here. Flesh tone skins is not painted at all, so does the hands. However, the forearm is painted in light grey, as you can see now, and this piece here is painted in flat black, so does this. The crotch and the thighs are made of a red plastic material, but they painted it with the camouflage over the thighs and the front side of the crotch. Nothing much of details there, which is kind of disappointing. Kneecap is also painted, as you can see, because it's made of a red plastic color. The back portion of the leg has been painted in grey, and the front portion of the leg is painted in light grey. But the back portion of the paint job managed to, well, smudge onto this section of the leg, as you can see here. I'm not too sure if this is intentional, but it doesn't look very nicely done, as you can see on this section as well. And the boots are not painted, it's just pure plastic color. Now for the figure's mold, the mold is all new mold, very nicely done, but nothing to shout about. The only thing that's interesting is the head mold. The head mold is nice. The rest of the body seem very bland looking, especially on the torso and the crotch. As you can see, the torso has very little amount of details. There's no muscle details there. You can see the man boobs, of course. The bit of wrinkles at the bottom section, back, and that's about it. The crotch is even strange. It's just flat out, including the back portion of the butt. You're hardly able to see the butt, well, shape. It's just flat out, so it looks rather weird, as if, well, Storm Shadow doesn't have any, well, below package at all. Now the thighs there's a bit of interesting mold. You get to see the armors, all those overlapping armors on one side, and then on the other side it's just all cloth, all wrinkles. The kneecap is nicely done, so does the lower section of the armor, very nice. The boots, however, the bottom section of the boots, as you can see, there's a bit of detail there. I'm just sure you can see the detail. Now the arms is nothing to shout about. They seem very bland looking with the short sleeves, not a lot of details being put onto it. Now the arm guard here, there's also nothing to shout about. It looks very plain looking. One side here is shorter than the other one is longer. And that's about it with the sculpt. the head sculpt is actually much more better than the rest of the body. The top section of the forehead here, very nicely done with the details. The eyes still look pretty weird. Now the mask that covers his face is also nicely done. You get to see a lot of wrinkles there. Back portion of the head, nicely done. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can pivot up, down, side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulders here can turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this far. Elbow joint can bend this far, turn left and right. Cannot turn 360 degrees because it's being hindered by this piece here. Wrist joint turn 360 degrees. There's no new articulation, which is kind of sad. Hip joints here move forward, back a little bit to the sides. Double jointed knee that bend this far, and ankle joint that pivots downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. Now for this figure, it doesn't have a torso articulation or a working waist articulation because thanks to the gimmick there. If you want a waist articulation, you can always twist the waist on one side like so. This is your articulation there. Otherwise, if you twist it on the other side, it's just gonna keep on snapping back. And speaking of the gimmick, let's show you all the Whirlwind Kick. All you have to do is just twist the entire torso to one side until you hear a click. Then there's a button on the side here. Raise one leg and there you go, the Whirlwind Kick. Yippee! So there you have it. The figure has sacrificed its own torso articulation in favor of a gimmick that was used in the mid 90s of the Ninja Force. Now let's equip the figure with the accessories. Now let's do the skirt first. As you can see, the skirt actually has this peg, and you have to peg it onto the crotch itself like so, just to fully align it, and you have to clip on the button all the way in like so. Then we have the body armor, and slip it in like so. Slip in the bundle of rope. Place the sheath at the back. The halberd and the cat claw, and there you have it. Storm Shadow is fully equipped. Now I can still hold more, but it will look kind of silly with more weapons on him. And place the figure onto the base stand, and there you have it. With the equipment on, with all the accessories placed onto Storm Shadow, it looks a bit more better. Without the accessories, it looks pretty bland. With the accessories, it looks a bit more better, but still not a really great figure because thanks to the sacrifice of the torso articulation, we get the silly spring-loaded Whirlwind Kick, which is not really that impressive at all. Now, some of the accessories is nice, some of them are reused, like the katanas, nothing that special. So this figure is pretty average to me. I just like the head sculpt, but the paint job it's not very striking for a Storm Shadow figure. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I'm just gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Average figure, 5 out of 10 for the Whirlwind Kick Storm Shadow. And I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.